Has your family ever turned against a relative after they crossed an unforgivable line? Last weekend, my husband took our son to my sister's house for her daughter's birthday party. I couldn't go because of work, but I never expected the nightmare that would unfold. Around 2 p.m., my phone rang. It was my husband, his voice shaking. He said I needed to meet them at the emergency room because our 10-year-old son Mason had been hurt. Before I could ask what happened, he blurted out that my sister had locked Mason in her attic as punishment while my husband was in the garage helping set up games. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. My sister Amy is strict, but this sounded insane. I rushed to the hospital, my mind racing with horrible possibilities. When I arrived, Mason was being examined. He looked pale and was still trembling. Once the doctor confirmed he was physically okay but experiencing anxiety, my husband explained what happened. Apparently the kids were playing in the living room when Amy's daughter Zoe started bragging about how she and her friends had stolen another girl's backpack at school and hidden it in a dumpster. Mason told her that was mean and asked if she'd apologized. Zoe got angry and started calling him a goody two-shoes and teacher's pet. Mason responded that bullying other kids wouldn't make her cool. This made Zoe furious. She started throwing her presents at him, and he put his hands up to protect himself. That's when Amy walked in. According to the other children, Zoe immediately started crying and claimed Mason had ruined her party and hit her. Without asking any questions, Amy grabbed Mason by the shirt collar and dragged him upstairs. She pushed him into the attic storage room and locked the door. The attic had no windows, no light switch inside, and was sweltering hot. Mason is claustrophobic since getting trapped in an elevator last year. He started panicking and screaming. My husband heard the commotion when he came back inside. When he asked where Mason was, Amy claimed he was in the bathroom. But my nephew whispered to my husband that Aunt Amy put Mason in the scary room. My husband heard banging from upstairs and ran up, demanding Amy unlock the door. She refused, at first saying Mason needed to learn respect. My husband threatened to break the door down, and she finally relented. They found Mason hyperventilating in the dark, having a full panic attack. After hearing this at the hospital, I was beyond furious. I drove straight to my parents' house, where the family had gathered after the party disaster. Amy was there, defending herself to our parents. I confronted her in front of everyone. How could she lock a child, her own nephew, in a dark attic, even if he had done something wrong? Which he hadn't. What kind of adult punishes a child that way? Our parents were horrified. Dad reminded Amy that Mason has been in therapy for his claustrophobia. Mom mentioned that just last month, Zoe had been caught lying about another cousin breaking her tablet. When security footage showed she'd thrown it herself, Amy kept insisting she was disciplining Mason for attacking her daughter. My dad asked if Zoe had any marks or bruises. When Amy couldn't point to any actual injury, several cousins who'd been at the party spoke up, confirming Mason's version of events. I wanted to file a police report, but my parents begged me to let them handle it. I agreed only because Mason was more shaken than physically hurt. What I didn't expect was how severely my parents would respond. They told Amy they were removing her from their will and cutting financial support for Zoe's private school. They also informed the entire extended family about the incident. By evening, Amy was calling me in tears. Her ex-husband had heard what happened and was filing for primary custody of Zoe. She begged me to tell our parents to reconsider. She admitted she might have overreacted, but still hadn't directly apologized to Mason. I told her I couldn't help until she truly understood what she'd done wrong and made a genuine apology to my son. She hung up on me. Has anyone else experienced a family member crossing such a serious line that the entire family turned against them? How did you handle it when they tried to make amends?